Hey everyone! So today, we're going to tackle the one superpower we all wish we had more of: focus. If your attention span has been feeling, shorter than a TikTok video lately, don't worry, you are in exactly the right place. Okay, let's just dive right in.
Oh, you know this feeling, right? You're staring at a book or an email, and the words are just swimming. You read a sentence, and then your mind just zips off to plan dinner or remember some hilarious cat video you saw, and poof, you're right back at the top of the page. It's so maddening. Well, what if I told you it's not actually your fault?
Yeah, that's a term from neuroscientist Andrew Huberman, and it perfectly describes what's going on. Our phones, with that endless scroll of super fast, flashy content, are literally training our brains to need constant, dramatic stimulation. So when we try to focus on something kind of boring like, text, our brain basically throws a little tantrum. But the good news is, it's not permanent. You can totally retrain it.
And that is exactly what we are going to do today. We are building your ultimate focus toolkit, and it's got 3 killer components. Some really surprising brain hacks from neuroscience, the right body fuel to power up your concentration, and finally, some hardcore mental toughness to forge your willpower. Let's do this.
So our first tool is a total game changer, and it's something you can use literally the second this is over. It all comes down to a core principle from Andrew Huberman's research, this ridiculously powerful connection between your eyes and your mind. Now, this is not just some catchy phrase, it's like a command that's hardwired into your biology. When you deliberately point your visual focus at something, you're not just looking, you are physically flipping switches in your brain. You're telling your brainstem to release the exact chemicals, we're talking norepinephrine and acetylcholine, that are responsible for making you feel alert and concentrated.
So think of your vision as having 2 modes. First, there's that relaxed, panoramic gaze where you're just kind of taking in the whole room. That's your brain in chill mode. But when you narrow your gaze down to one tiny point, what Huberman calls a soda straw view, your brain just snaps to attention. This simple physical act tells your brain, hey, whatever is happening right here is super important. Pay attention. Okay, so here is your first little homework assignment. The next time you really need to focus, just pick a single word or a tiny spot on your screen and just stare at it for 1 to 2 minutes. Now, you might start to feel a little agitated, maybe a little antsy, but that feeling, that is actually a great sign. It means your brain is getting primed and ready to lock in. It's working.
All right, so that first hack is awesome for focusing in the moment. But what if you could give your brain a permanent upgrade? Like a one-time tune-up that could improve your focus forever. I know it sounds a little too good to be true, but the science here is just fascinating.
That's it. That's all it takes. Just one single 17-minute session to fundamentally rewire your brain's attention circuits. This isn't about daily meditation or some long-term habit. Nope, this is a one-time thing with lasting effects. So what's the big secret? Well, it all comes down to fixing these things called attentional blinks.
We usually think distraction is about a failure to focus, but a lot of research suggests it's actually a problem of over-focusing. You lock onto one thing so hard that your brain literally creates a blind spot, an attentional blink, and it totally misses the very next thing it was supposed to see. This happens to all of us, but it gets more common as we get older, and it's especially frequent for people with ADHD.
And here's the fix. Research shows that doing this super simple practice just once can permanently reduce how many attentional blinks you have. All you have to do is sit quietly for 17 minutes with your eyes closed and just turn your focus inward. Pay attention to your breath, the feeling of the chair you're sitting on, the air on your skin. Seriously, that's it. This practice of interoception seems to teach the brain how to manage its focus better, making you way less distractible for the long haul.
Okay, we've covered the brain hacks, so let's move on to our next pillar. Body fuel. Because, let's be real, all the mental tricks in the world won't help if you're running on fumes. According to Dr. Eric Berg, what you eat has a direct and really powerful impact on your ability to concentrate.
Dr. Berg basically calls these the 3 arch-villains of focus. Things like sugar and refined carbs, they cause these wild blood sugar spikes and crashes that just absolutely destroy your concentration. Plus, along with alcohol, they drain your body of vitamin B1. And as Dr. Berg explains, your brain's focus and memory center is super sensitive to not having enough B1. So these foods are basically starving the very system you need to think clearly.
So what's the solution? Well, Dr. Berg is a huge fan of intermittent fasting, and this quote just nails why. He says fasting can actually trigger the regrowth of nerve cells in key parts of the brain, like the hippocampus. It's like giving your brain's hardware a much-needed refresh. The big takeaway here is pretty clear. Sometimes what you don't eat is just as important as what you do.
So, we've hacked the brain, we've fueled the body, now it's time for the final piece of the puzzle: willpower. And for that, we're going to turn to the undisputed master of mental toughness, David Goggins. His philosophy is simple. Focus isn't something you just find. It's something you forge in fire.
This right here is the heart of the Goggins method. Your brain, if you just leave it alone, wants to be comfortable. It wants the easy way out. It will always pull you toward distraction. You have to be the boss. You have to actively grab the steering wheel of your mind and command to focus, even when it's screaming to do anything else. So how do you become the boss? You completely redefined what's normal. Goggins tells this story about going through Navy SEAL training with broken shins. His reality was just pain and suffering, day after day. He made that misery his new normal. When your mind accepts that difficulty is the baseline, it stops fighting you and it starts adapting. It builds calluses. You make focus the expectation, not the special occasion. And this is the ultimate commitment. When Goggins was trying to learn something or push through a physical barrier, he didn't just try. He went back again and again and again until his mind finally understood there was no escape. There was no plan B. The only way forward was through the task. When you remove the option to quit, your brain is forced to find a way to succeed.
And there you have it. 3 powerful, science-backed pillars to build absolutely unbreakable focus. I know we've covered a lot, so let's just put it all together in one simple, powerful toolkit.
All right, let's recap the whole toolkit. First up, for your brain, use that visual focus hack for in-the-moment concentration and do the 17-minute interoception practice for that long-term upgrade. Second, for your body, fuel your brain for clarity by cutting out the sugar and refined carbs, and maybe give fasting a try to help regenerate those brain cells. And finally, for your willpower, forge that mental toughness by creating a new normal where focus is just the standard, not the exception. So that's the big question. Information is awesome, but it's action that really creates change. So what's it going to be? Are you going to try the 60-second eye focus hack on your next project? Are you going to schedule that 17-minute brain rewire? Or maybe you'll just start by cutting the sugar out of your coffee. Pick one. Commit to it. Let us know down in the comments which tool you're going to try first. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I really hope this toolkit helps you take back your attention and crush your goals. Now go put it to work. And hey, if you found this helpful, a little friendly tap on that subscribe button goes a really long way. I'll see you next time.